right, so the new quest system is actually in, and the biggest thing is some hidden secrets that were not in the latest patch. So one of the biggest things is, we'll go over here to cosmetics. The new card back for Blue Beetle is usable if, of course, you completed the Blue Beetle comic, which wasn't the case before, but after the latest update, it is now. You actually get it as a card back. So it was retroactive, I already completed it, so I got the card back. And was in this latest patch, which wasn't even in the patch notes. But the biggest thing, which is what we're going to go over at this moment in time, if you go over to your cards, and then you kind of go over here to show unowned, you know, seeing which cards you don't have, you'll actually find some hidden secrets. If we kind of go over here to the energy, oh look, we have something that is part of the Blue Beetle set. So yes, the Blue Beetle cards are actually in the game right this moment. And the only thing is you can't access them. But apparently, from the grapevine, I've heard that you can actually get these cards from the Riddler. So if Riddler is played and your opponent, you know, gives them to you, then it could actually be in the choices. We're going to go over these new cards that are part of the Blue Beetle set. So let's take a look. For those that don't know, Blue Beetle kind of deals with a lot of the golden resource cards. So it does not surprise me that a lot of these cards have to deal with the golden resource in some way. We got Skeets here, who is part of the Booster Gold universe. See, after Skeets attacks, draw a gold card, which Skeets is free. A free 1/2 that draws you a gold card. That's of course you want this, you know, as early as possible, so then that way you start getting your gold cards. But with the Blue Beetle set, that's actually pretty cool as a way to tutor out more gold cards, because guess what? If you're able to get your gold cards from Skeets, then you don't accidentally draw them, which, you know, you can actually get the cards you kind of want, especially in the early and mid game. By late game, then, even late game, this is going to be good, because late game, you want your gold cards. So, hey, a way to tutor out more golds, pretty good. Next, we have Booster Gold, which is another Booster Gold, the second Booster Gold in actually energy, which is pretty interesting. So this one is a gold one, Booster Gold. The first time you play a gold card each turn, generate a gold. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So of course, the only thing is you would have to have it survive. So maybe you can actually use this with invisibility. Like you run a Zatanna deck or something, or magical spells, and then you get invisibility just to make sure he lives, because he only has 5 health. But have him on the board, and then from then on, every time you play a gold, you get another gold resource, which even if you don't have another gold card to play, that's still another resource that you could just play, you know, another card essentially. So being gold being the most expensive, so you could definitely play another silver, you could play another bronze if you have those in your hand. Yeah, something that pays for itself is actually pretty good. And of course, it goes with the gold aspect. So I can see this being, this definitely being played. If you can keep him on the board, he's amazing. If your opponent clears him, then it's like, feels bad, because he's a gold card. He does nothing the first turn you play him, or nothing huge. But of course, there's some other cards that might be able to combo with him. We'll go over that here in a moment. All right, now we're going to get into the meat and bones of everything, because we know that most of the cards are probably going to be in tactics. So for those that have played the comic, you're probably well aware of this card, Brenda. Draw all gold cards in the top 5 cards of your deck. Man, I mean, I think that's really good, because the more that you actually get your gold cards out of your deck and into your hand, the more you don't accidentally draw into them. And as someone that the game loves to throw gold cards at, for whatever reason, I could have literally like only a couple of gold cards and I still draw them out of 40 cards in the deck. The game loves to give them to me. That's actually good because you can pull it from your deck and then actually draw the cards that you want to have when you have card draw. So Brenda, I think it's pretty good. And this is probably one of my favorite cards right here, Paco. I cannot believe, when I played this in the actual comic, I could not believe that this was an actual card. Paco counts as a gold card wherever he is. And then they put it, you still play bronze to play him. Which, I'm actually glad they still added this, because this will probably confuse a lot of people, but they just kind of emphasize it's already here in bronze, but they're like, look, he's still a bronze. And honestly, he's a bronze as a 3/3. That's actually not bad in general. But the fact that he counts as a gold for whatever reason, oh man. So that's another good card that Brenda can just pull. Especially like you turn 1 Brenda, and then you have a turn 2 play if you need to. Or B, he's definitely not a bad card to play in the late game, because a lot of the Blue Beetle cards are going to be like, hey, if you have gold, do this, do so-and-so. So the fact that you play him for a bronze, but it thinks he's gold, that's just a win for you, right? I think this is the most imaginative card that makes me very excited for the future of DC Dual Force, that they even thought to make something like this. Because when I first heard that Blue Beetle was all going to be about the gold cards, I was worried like, well, that's way too late at the game. Why is that going to matter? And it's cards like this that actually make it easier for you to play those cards to a certain degree. So it's going to be amazing. Jaime Reyes. This card actually was a lot of fun in the actual comic. You actually get him in the later, I don't know if he's in the earlier ones because I never pulled him in the earlier ones, but the last 2 fights, I believe, is where you can actually get this card and use him. But, you know, he could be in the deck for the early ones and I just got unlucky and didn't pull him. This one, I comboed very nicely. If you haven't checked out my video on my YouTube, just playing Jaime, then play like Paco, and then he just kind of goes from there. Because he turns into the Blue Beetle, and then the Blue Beetle has both Evade and Hunter. And then after you play a gold card, you ready him again. So it's almost like the Flash, if you will. Play Paco, play a gold card, and just keep popping off with them. Love it, love it. Blue Beetle, it should say like old school Blue Beetle. But another Blue Beetle, but this one as Hunter. After you play a gold card, charge your leaders. Now it's not just Robin that charges leaders. Now we actually have, which I saw a lot of people actually get this card. It was not that hard to get in the comics, but it was a lot of fun to play with. Charging leaders in the comics was nice, but I look forward to actually seeing this guy played in the real game, because this is going to be some late game charge, and it's not just Robin that can get the charge. Well, other than Steve Trevor, like Tactics could definitely end up being a region that's good about charging your leaders with Robin and now that Blue Beetle. That's 2 cards. Now it's not as quick as Steve Trevor, but at least these cards have a body. I mean, a 5/5 with evade, and the other one can actually charge with gold resource. I wonder if we'll get any more in the future. This is the one that I'm worried about. Carapax or whatever, but I'm gonna call it Carapax. I'm really worried about this one. I mean, it's a 6/3 gold. Can't protect, but it's invincible. Oh boy. And this just, I mean, there's ways to deal with them. Like you can, of course, arrest them and such, but oh man. The fact that, I mean, it's a good thing that he's a gold card, but there's going to be a lot of different ways to deal with him. I know Friends in High Places would be a great combo with him. Just make him an 8/5 that a lot of regions probably wouldn't be able to mess with him, like kill him, but it's a good thing he has Can't Protect, because straight up, that would be hard to deal with. But you just put him in the back. Just put him in the back, and then you just You can use them not necessarily for anarchy. Like a lot of anarchy is like aggro and such. You don't even need to put them in an aggro deck. Like make an anarchy like mid-range deck and then just sit him in the back and just keep hitting every turn into whatever you want. It's a guaranteed 6 damage on units, leaders that they can't deal with. Now, of course, there are different ways to deal with them, but like I said, not a lot of regions can. It's gonna be so interesting. I mean, Tactics, of course, can lower his attack, same with Tyranny, but man, like, for example, Might. Like, if you use this against Might, like, Might, unless they have Hurl into the Stratosphere, Might can't do anything against this. Like, if, for example, if you're up against Mono Might, they always want to fight for the board. This one guy alone just fights for the board even more. Someone plays down Superman, and it's like, ha, okay, you just placed down Superman, recruit. I don't care. I'm just going to keep hitting for 6. There's a lot of things you can do in Tyranny, i.e. Mark of Cain and, you know, Appetite for Conquest. Like, if you do double Appetite for Conquest, this guy is a 4-1, and that's not as bad. That's why they gave it some health, right? They didn't make sure, they didn't just say this guy was a 6-1, because there are cards that can bypass the whole invincible part that affects both health and attack. Straight Jacket will be great again, yeah. Of course, we got Blood Beetle. Now, one thing about Blood Beetle that is, we have access to it right this moment, but I think he's not really going to be that useful now, but later. Like, think about playing this, and of course, it definitely combos with Paco, because, you know, due to the comic, this is Paco. After you have Paco, and then after friendly recruit is KO'd on your turn, Blood Beetle gets 3/3. So Paco's a 3/3, and then this one gets a 3/3. So it would be a lot easier to sacrifice Paco, who is a bronze unit, than another gold unit on your turn. That's the key thing, it's on your turn. We shall see how the Blood Beetle works. Right now, I think there's still other cards that are better than it, but we'll see how it combos with other things. We have Infiltrator Scarab. This is a silver 1/1, but after Infiltrator Scarab attacks a leader, sacrifice it and summon the Reach in your empty spaces. And of course, the Reach are 3/3s. So basically, it's like a souped up bursting boom tube with steps. I'm really worried about this because it's only a 1/1. It is hidden, but there are AoEs that can kind of deal with it a little bit. And the biggest thing is it doesn't have Hunter, so you have to hit their leader. And then after you hit their leader, you would have to have empty spaces on your side to be 3/3s. I'm not excited by this card, I will say. Yeah, most AoE, i.e. cards like the, Green Arrows cards. I mean, he has an arrow for every occasion, right? All you need is one Appetite for Conquest. Now, I guess if you were playing Appetite, then maybe it is a 2/2, at most a 3/3, but still, like, the payoff is, I don't know if the payoff is that good to summon 3/3s on your board. And of course, it's not the turn that you play it, right? It's got to be, you play it down, it's hidden. Somehow you have access to the opponent's leaders next turn, and then you attack, and then the Reach are in your empty spaces, but the Reach cards will come in exhausted. So you can't even, like, use them. I don't know, there's a lot of steps involved with it. I think there might be way too many steps. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's too slow. You know, of course you're gonna see clips online of people that actually, you know, hit it off. Sure, but I think there's too many loops you gotta go through for this card. Now this is the guy. This is the Giga Chad right here. This is what I definitely am excited for. This card alone is gonna bring some interesting deck builds. Black Beetle, Parting Shot. Put Black Beetle into the top 5 cards of your deck. He gets 5/5 and becomes free and loses the ability, which, you know, makes sense, or else they would just cascade over and over again. But boy, oh boy, 5-5 for now. And then later he's a 10-10. He's free, but he's, oh man. When I saw this one in the comics, it was like the last battle, last fight. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. This guy is so good. He's gonna be absolutely good. He may alone help Black Adam and put him on the map, because technically he'll end up being 2. A 5-5 and a 10-10 later, and then Black Adam, by the time you're in a gold round, you're pretty close to getting Black Adam off if you didn't get him earlier. Imagine 10-10 from him and then a 10-10 from Black Adam. Oh, that's just, and he's free. Oh man, a free 10-10. Oh man, we talked about this in the comic thing, but Lex would definitely be good, because then you can draw cards from your hand. It doesn't seem like this will work with Brenda. Like Brenda and a few others, of course, will get the main body, but they won't get the free one afterwards, because technically it's counted as free. Smoke and mirrors on the first body, like this one, yes, not the second one, the 10-10. So then that way you have 2 Black Beetles in the top 5 of your deck. Yeah, that would be something. I immediately thought of tactics, because of course, you know, Mr. Terrific pulling a free card, that's always a thing. And I mean, top 5 cards of your deck is not bad at all. You can draw him naturally. Like, he can literally be the top card. It kind of sucks, but because Tyranny already has some of the most amazing gold cards. You got Dark Side, you got Omega Beams. I mean, you got Appetite for Conquest, Brainiac. Oh, I mean, even Lex Luthor is not bad. Once I saw this card in the comic, I could not, I'm like, I want it now. I want it now. And finally, we have La Dama. If you've played at least 2 other gold cards this game, KO all enemy recruits? What? Oh, that's not even a hard hurdle at all. Oh my God, and she's not even a unique. She's a super rare. So you can put 2 in your deck. Oh no. This is a one-sided massacre. The enemy recruits, and you get a 7-3 body. And that's not even a hard hurdle. Especially if you're going tactics and you play 2 Pacos, then it's done. 2 other, I mean, it's great that it say 2 other, like it's not counting itself. Specifically says that. So this has to be at least your 3rd. But with Paco counting as a gold, and then you got Brenda to pull golds, this is not hard to do at all. It's actually funny how this is kind of power creep on Massacre, kinda. Like, it's bad enough when you have an opponent play Massacre. Even Mass Arrest sometimes can be such a huge tempo loss that you just lose because of it. You lose because they played Massacre, and then like you're like, dang it, I couldn't come back. But even if they do come back, you're like, haha, La Dama. And then it's like, oh, you want to come back again? La Dama. It's crazy. Your only setback, which is really the only setback with Calling, Massacre, and several others, is Aura. That's what hurts Green Arrow. But honestly, we might end up being in a control meta just from this card. It's pretty much Tyranny and Tactics that are the clear winners from the new cards. But there's definitely going to be some deck building with the other ones. So I'm looking forward to it. Definitely when these at some point get released, we're definitely going to be testing and making a lot of different decks. I'm hoping they get released, please, next week. That would be such a beautiful present for the beginning of September. Give me these cards, please. But there it is.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.